computer to sell? Looking for antiques to buy? Turn to the best marketplace in North Texas, Classified Center in the Dallas Morning News, and online at dallasnews.com. Put Classified Center to work for you at 214-745-8123. Our next ticket ticker is at 9:50. Breaking sports news first guaranteed. I'm Rich Phillips reminding you to keep a secret stash with the Ticket Flask. Order yours today by logging on to theticket.com.
Michael Irvin throws down Cowboys hot sports opinions each week on the Hard Line. Thursday afternoons at 6:10. Brought to you by Van Chevrolet, Subway, and Sports Radio 1310. The Ticket.
Good morning. It's 9:36 on Sports Radio 1310. The Ticket. Cowboys beat the Redskins yesterday 21-14, and before the game, the longtime radio play-by-play voice for the Cowboys was honored for his 25 years in the booth, and the man who gave us both our first jobs in radio, Brad Sham, joins us now on the Ticket, and somehow I think when he tunes into the Ticket, he regrets that move, but oh boy, does he ever.
No, I don't regret hiring either one of you.
Well, good morning and congratulations. That was a pretty neat honor yesterday.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hey, here's what I care about. I want to know how much of you, Junior, is going to be on the Channel 8 special tonight.
You know, I wondered about that. That Dale roast from last Thursday went about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Hey, you guys just all need to know how great Junior was. I'm not kidding.
That's what I hear.
He pulled that thing off perfectly.
Well, thank you, Brad.
It takes there's a real talent to being understated and very dry and kind of letting the thing come to you because the competitive juices take over and you want to compete with everybody who's up there doing stuff. And Craig didn't do that. He just did his deal in a very quiet way from the very beginning with the whole taxi cab routine, which I don't know how much people know about or how much they will. And it was really, I do enough emceeing to be able to really appreciate an outstanding job, and that was.
Well, it's nice of you to say. I appreciate that. My first thought was every one of my bits will end up on the editing room floor when they got to trim it down to 40 or 45 minutes.
I know.
I hope they leave a lot of you and Troy in because you guys were very funny, too. I thought you were really great.
Well, thanks. We were short. That was the good thing about it. And if they decide to cut all of Alvazano out, then everybody's got a chance.
Yeah, he took about an hour and a half, I think.
About 40 minutes.
But from what I understand, there's not going to be much David Faraday.
There probably won't be very much of David. He was very amusing, but I don't know if he was quite ready for prime time. And then you should have heard him. They had these big couches, George, for everybody when they were done to sit down and enjoy the rest of the evening. And so I can't even tell you, well, maybe I could on the Ticket, what Faraday said, but I won't. But when I sat down, I sat down. There was nobody sitting next to him, and he tried to explain to me why that might be. And he just kept going, is what I'm trying to say.
The great David Faraday.
Yeah.
Brad Sham's with us here on the Dunham and Miller Show, honored before the game yesterday. 25 years in the booth, and that was a pretty neat deal the Cowboys had for you yesterday to recognize that much time in the booth. And I guess yesterday was game number 498.
498. And the only reason I know that is when I did the book Stadium Stories, which I know you guys wanted to talk about too.
Yes.
Because it's available at bookstores and the Cowboys Pro Shops everywhere.
Nicely done. How's it selling, by the way?
I have no idea, but we'll start. Cliff and Charlie's book. They're bragging about being in a second printing, and who's going to challenge them? I don't know. I haven't checked with the publisher. I hope it's doing okay. It's a light little paperback. It doesn't take long to read, and it's under $10. It's a great stocking stuffer, and it's got stories from all different, all over the place. And the reason that I knew how many games it was is that I thought there was one chapter where I just wrote 2 or 3 things that have happened to me in the course of broadcasting those games, and I thought, well, that would be something to put in there. And so when Rich Dalrymple, the Cowboys PR guy, called me the other day and said, I need to know how many games, I said, oh, well, it's right here in chapter 1. Let me just go find it. I counted it up.
So it's like in short story form, right?
Yeah, it's just 12 short stories is exactly the way to put it. And they're unrelated to each other except that they have a Cowboys theme. And they said pick 12 stories that you want to tell. And so some of them I changed as I went along doing the interviews, which I started last fall. I did a chapter on tax. I did a chapter on Emmett's breaking the record. I think there are some things in there that people kind of either didn't know about or have forgotten about. The Zero Club, which which was probably you guys were little bitty toddlers when the Zero Club was playing. But it's pretty funny stuff because it comes out all out of Frank Lutz's columns that he wrote about Larry Cole and Pat Toomey and Blaine Nye, three really good players. In the early 70s, they had this Zero Club, which basically reflected their personalities. They got together and did nothing.
Hey, we should clear up something. Like Hansen said last night, well, it was going to be a surprise for Brad, and then Jerry Jones spilled the beans.
Hey,
there was no way there...
I'm really glad you brought that up. And he took a shot at Jerry when he did that. I saw that last night.
There was no way they're going to keep that a surprise for you because you had to stay down on the field before the game, and you're not going to stay down on the field 10 minutes before kickoff.
No, and you know, Dale said what he said so that he could take a little shot at Jerry, and Barry Horn said in his column on Saturday that Jones blabbed it. And here's what happened. I don't know what they had in mind in terms of trying to keep it a secret, but you're right. I'm always down on the field before the game, and then somewhere about 40 minutes or so before kickoff, maybe a little bit more, I go back upstairs and get, you know, a little bite to eat and then go on up to the booth. Well, Jerry was, I mean, this was a deal that they did yesterday. They didn't have to do that. I appreciate it, and it was very nice, but, I mean, that was really uncalled for, unheard of, in certainly in this club's history, and I think with a lot of teams don't do something like that. And they went out of their way to make a big deal out of it, which was really nice. I appreciated that. And the reason that I found out about it when I did was Jerry wanted to say something about it on his TV show, which I do with him. And because of the league meetings last week, he was gone Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and his segments in the show we had to tape on Monday. And he didn't know, nor do I think there was, a way for him to put that in the TV show, which I'm hosting, right, without telling me about it. Mm-hmm. And just by circumstance, we had to do it on Monday. So he's being really, really nice, making a nice gesture to me, and for him to get a shot taken at him, I think there'll be other ways people can take shots at him. Don't do it for something nice that he's trying to do.
Yeah, it was a neat moment. Again, Brad Sham with us, honored yesterday for his 25 years in the booth.
Now, did they pick up when I said that the highlight of my career was hiring you two guys? Because I didn't know if that...
No, that didn't come through the microphone somehow. No. Hey, you did get some nice words from Joe Buck, though.
Troy called me before the game. He said you might want to roll the tape. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was really nice of Joe. And I told Joe on the field before the game that he came up and said congratulations. And coming from Joe, that meant a lot because, and I told him this yesterday, but I've told him this before, his dad was one of the people that, I don't want to say inspired me, but that I really looked up to. Guy from the Morning News asked me the other day about sportscasters that I looked up to and tried to emulate maybe, and I don't know if I tried to emulate him, but there was a guy named Jack Brickhouse in Chicago who was the voice of Chicago sports when I was growing up. He did Bears radio and Cubs and White Sox television, and wherever you grow up, then the guy that you listen to, if kids are baseball fans around here and they grow up listening to Eric, then Eric's the guy they want to listen to, they want to emulate. That was Jack Brickhouse for me. And then the other guy was Jack Buck, because he was so smooth and so versatile. Everybody knew he could do football and baseball, but people didn't know the other things that Jack Buck did. He did a general subjects talk show on KMOX, which is, you know, no disrespect intended, a little different than doing it on the ticket. Yeah. Because he would talk about serious stuff, politics and social things in St. Louis. And then, you know, he hosted a game show on NBC for a while. I mean, he could do anything. And so for Joe to say that stuff, which was really nice and complimentary, that meant a lot to me because he's good, and his dad to me was just as good as it gets.
All right, here's the generic question. 25 years, almost 500 games. Is there one moment that stands out?
Yeah, no. I mean, there's more than one. The December 79 game against the Redskins stands out. Walking, I always like to say that walking on the field in Pasadena, January of '93 before the Super Bowl, I mean, the game was good, but there was something about that season that was so unexpected and it culminated in just a perfect day. I mean, the weather was unbelievable, and Hansen and I walking out on the field at the Rose Bowl, and the mountains in the background, and the dew, and the sunshine, and I mean, it was... But, you know, when you do it for this long, you do this many games, and you're involved with this many neat people, there's you know, there's a lot of them. I mean, when I said yesterday that I appreciated the Joneses having me back, I mean, I really mean that. Coming back in '98 was something that I didn't necessarily anticipate happening. So I remember that.
Well, we wanted to have you on this morning to recognize that moment for you yesterday, and also to thank you for taking chances on us 15 years ago, a couple of knuckleheads out of college, and you taught us a lot, and we appreciate everything you've done for us. So.
Well, you know, I just hope that Craig really understands how much he owes you.
Oh, I do. Believe me, I do.
We were getting ready to hire somebody else. We had an opening, and I had a guy who I wasn't crazy about that I was going to hire, and George said, look, I know this guy. I went to school with him. You know, and I said, well, yeah, what's he doing? He's just riding a bike in Colorado. I said, well, boy, he sounds qualified to me.
I'll never forget, and Brad called me and did about a 20-minute interview on the phone, and he said, when can you start? And I said, well, right now. When do you need someone? He goes, well, I needed someone a week ago. Can you be down here tomorrow, basically? So, pretty wild process, but it turned out great.
Hey, George, seriously, when it doesn't have anything to do with the 25 years of doing the Cowboys, but when you ask me about the highlights of what I've done so far, because I'm not anywhere near done, I hope, in this business, when I see how well you and Junior are doing, and I see how well Chuck's doing, and I see how well Craig Way is doing, and we all work together, and I had a little something to do with all of you guys getting started, that's more important to me. That's more rewarding and gratifying to me than almost anything else. Although it was also pretty cool talking to Larry Gatlin yesterday on the sideline.
Yeah, some things are just a little bit cooler. Hey, well, we do appreciate you, and we're really happy for you.
Thanks.
And getting that moment yesterday. And I've got the book, and I've gotten about halfway through it, so I'm a slow reader. So.
Take your time.
We'll
Congratulations.
Appreciate it, fellas. Thanks.
You bet. That's Brad Sham, the longtime voice of the Cowboys. They recognized his 25 years in the booth yesterday. And his Stadium Stories book is a good one, and it would make a good stocking stuffer. You're going to check that out at the Cowboy Pro Shops or a bookstore near you. 9:48 on the ticket. We'll see you at Norm
With real audio.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Greg.
Here's Snake.
Now, Greg, usually this is just Snake, a kick right to your balls every time we do Fun with Real Audio.
Right.
Well, this is really a kick to Reiner's balls more than yours, although you're involved.
Oh, really?
In a minor way.
Always am.
Yeah. This isn't that bad for you, though. It's more on Reiner, because he had some real funny stuff happen to him over the last week. Just meltdowns, man. But we'll start with Grego. Now, about a week ago, Reiner told us that he had made it back from the doctor to get his prostate examined. And this was a really funny segment. I went back and listened to the whole thing. It was a really funny segment. But something caught my attention. Matter of fact, it caught Kevin Scott's attention. He alerted it to me.
Kevin Scott.
Because we were all ripping on Reiner, making fun of him and just...
coming up with dirty jokes about his prostate exam.
Everything was a punchline, and Grego was getting mad. Grego was saying how we needed to treat this serious, because this is a serious issue.
Well, it is.
I realized that. So let's take a listen to Grego. This is in the middle of the segment, pretty much shutting us all up because we're treating this as such a joke.
You know, we could be doing a service for other P1s out there.
We are.
All we're doing is making a big freaking joke out of it.
No, I'm
People
serious.
should know. Yeah, if you've got a lava rock.
Yeah, Kevin.
If you've got a lava rock or a
lilac
cinder
candles
block.
and cinder blocks, okay. Yeah, you're providing a service over there.
Yeah, you're really adding something to this. Yeah,
I mean, this is a serious subject matter.
Right,
Why couldn't we
it
do
is.
that to provide a service? There might be somebody out there, you know, my age or Reiner's age, that's never got this done, and we could prompt them to go get it done.
Hey, it's
but
time.
no, you guys are over there.
No, we're making
talking
jokes.
about cognac and
We're making
cinder
jokes.
blocks and bending over and
Yeah,
they're
look
not-
at that.
now they're
See,
not
you think
about
that's
to go
funny,
there.
huh?
No.
you know, not only that, I mean, you're putting down the whole medical profession, which I believe your family's a part of,
Yes,
Corby.
they are. They are. All right, so you're hitting on all of us.
Probably deserved to.
Yeah, it was bad. But let's take you back to the very beginning of the entire segment, and let's just see who fires that very first shot.
It was time, buddy.
Prostate?
Prostate.
Oh, yes. Oh.
Was there blood?
No, there was no blood. There was no cream. It was very quick in, quick out, as those things usually are.
You hope so, anyway.
Yeah, you do hope so.
So you've had a finger up your butt today.
That's the very first shot right there.
Yeah, let's keep this very serious. This is a public service announcement here that we're giving out to people.
There's people my age, you might be wanting to go out there.
Now they're not going to go. You had a finger up your butt today. What a hypocrite.
Oh.
Never said I wasn't a hypocrite.
Uh-huh.
You said y'all need to get off of it.
And this is how ridiculous that segment got. Just think if you went to your doctor. I had a legitimate medical question for Mike, and this is how stupid this show is. This is how ridiculous we are. Think if your doctor ever said this to you. Where is your prostate?
In your ass.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you. Oh, boy. All right, so last week also, there was a major meltdown before the ranch report. One of the strangest introductions ever happened between Mike and Mickey, in which Mike just lost it completely.
So we'll get into that about 5:50 or so. Right now, though, Booth Eye Care and Booth Eye Care and Laser Center and Just Brakes, right? They team up to bring you this. The Ranch Report with Mickey Spagnola of DallasCowboys.com. How you doing today?
Fine, and what's going on?
Wonderful. Not too much, that is.
Oh, good.
How are you?
Good. That's a rough start there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of.
All right, listen closely. Don't laugh over this. As he asks Mickey how he's doing, or how's it going, he answers fine, and then it just goes bad from there.
For my follow-up, I believe I did the same
You
thing.
did. You asked him the same question twice because you were so thrown off by everything.
How you doing today?
Fine, and what's going on?
Wonderful. Not too much, that is.
Oh, good.
How are you?
Good. I'm good.
Still good.
Losing it just a little
What
bit.
caused that, I wonder?
Because you are going insane. Let's hear it again.
How you doing today?
Fine, and what's going on?
Wonderful. Not too much, that is.
Oh, good.
How are you?
Good.
All right,
That is such a wonderful exchange.
all right, can I throw out a possible theory as to how that happened
It's
and
not
why?
going to be able to be proven.
Go ahead.
I think from the time I bring him on until the end of the segment, I just zone out every day. And when he asked me that question, I was paying no attention.
That theory cannot be proven?
No, I think that one actually may be able to be proven.
I think that would hold some water.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
The second he says ranch report, he starts going into silent hand farting
Yeah,
for
you
the
do.
next 10 minutes.
Yep. The second I say, how you doing today?
And then yesterday,
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
Here we go.
during Facts Fire,
Oh, no. No, please, no. Don't do this to me.
just everybody in their cars driving around, you try to figure out what's going on here when he has a really fun stammer.
When I called out a snake like nookie, 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 the gentleman next to me then called snake, which followed with an obvious chorus of caught a snake. Then someone from behind us started singing Give It To Me, Lance, with the moaning and groaning that we all know Kay Scott loves, and I'm sure misses from Colorado. There is no escaping the work of Snake and the boop boop and the boop.
Mr. Tomato Head. There he is.
All right, you can go let it run.
Mr. Tomato.
Okay,
Do
so,
we have an edit of that?
oh yeah.
And the boop boop. and the boodle boop.
Sounds like you're...
And the boodle boop.
You know what that sounds like? Did you ever see the Saturday Night Live with the Killer Bees when they did the A Buzz Buzz?
Yeah.
A Buzz Buzz. That's what.
And the boodle boop. And the boodle boop.
I like the tambourine in the background behind that, too.
And the boodle boop.
Hey, you're almost...
And the boodle boop.
What were you trying to say?
I don't know. I can't imagine. I have no excuse for that one.
Oh, man. And we caught it immediately, too.
Oh, yeah.
I like the long version because it just stops everything, and we immediately burst into hysterical laughter. Play the long
When I
version.
called out a
All right, try to
snake like
contain your-
nookie, the gentleman
live
next to me
laughter on
then
this.
called Snake, which followed with an obvious chorus of caught a snake. Then someone from behind us started singing Give It To Me, Lance, with the moaning and groaning that we all know Kay Scott loves, and I'm sure misses from Colorado. There is no escaping the work of Snake and the boodle boop and the boodle.
Mr. Tomato Head. There he is.
Wow, man.
Wow. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you're looking for an explanation, I don't have one.
That may be my favorite stammer of all time.
Yeah.
Because it's really hard to reproduce.
It really is.
Imagine
I mean,
making-
that was truly one of a kind.
Imagine
there.
making this sound in everyday conversation.
And the boodle boop.
Oh, boy.
That was truly one of a kind. That was a moment that will never be duplicated.
Oh, no. No. Ever in your life. Well, good work from both of you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I hate you. Is that it? Is that all the fun with audio we have for today?
That's
For
it.
today.
Yes.
Okay.
That's a lot of fun.
Take care, Snake.
I will.
All right, the Ranch Report with Mickey Spagnola is on the way next here on the ticket.
Wow.
I can't tell you how pleased I am to have survived the cut with these two unbelievable media moguls.
We're just happy that you didn't decide to go pro over the summer.
Well, you know, they said that I had a long way to go to be able to answer questions in the fashion in which you asked them. So I'm going to work on that this year and then try and see what the salary cap is with the pro people and just what I could do there.
Boy, it's good to have the coach back. This is excellent. We haven't had this in quite some time. Well, how was
Yeah, you guys spend 4 months with me, and we deal in honesty, and then everybody else tells you two what you want to hear because they're all afraid of you.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. All right. I thought that's the rap on you sometimes. Well, very good. How was the summer?
Pretty good. We got to do some fishing and did some things that obviously we like to do in the summer. Did a little traveling. Spent a lot of time here. As I've told you in the past, this is from a weather standpoint, this is a tremendous place to be year-round. We have I went to eat lunch today out at United Marketplace, and a couple of the gals out there said, "Boy, how do you like this cold weather?" And I said, "Ladies, in your wildest imagination, you don't know what cold is."
No doubt.
But it's nice to not own a shovel, isn't it?
Well, we had a day here that I think everybody thinks is cold. It's about 50 today. and
shut down the schools.
Well, I went hunting on Sunday in shirt sleeves.
Jeez.
So.
Yeah, this is nothing for an Ohio guy like you.
Oh, no. I mean, in the years I spent in New York when I was at West Point, it's a little bit different.
So,
what'd you guys do this summer other than entertain the Metroplex?
We were just on the air and, waiting for the Bob Knight show to come back. We had a countdown,
Back in Ohio, where I'm from, in really good farming country, that kind of stuff that you're putting out is what makes corn grow.
Yeah, we do realize that.
I'll tell you who we have been talking about, though. Your little buddy's doing a pretty good job with the Cowboys these days.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
See, I want to check memories now.
I thought you said he wouldn't be that good. Or effective. I couldn't...
Yeah, let me see if you two guys can even remember what I told you that the minimum number of games they would win would be.
Oh, jeez. You know what?
See, it's a good thing that you guys are really have a lot of baloney and are two really good-looking guys, because memory would not serve to take you very far in this world.
See, last year, Thursdays was our drinking at lunch days. So we had...
You will find the prediction, but you tell us now. What was it? What'd you say?
I said that he would win a minimum of 9 games.
And we probably thought you were crazy at the time.
Well, I wouldn't have had to have said that for you guys to think that. But I just think the guy, when he is coaching somebody, that's worth a lot more than anybody that could be playing for that team, because nobody in sports is more attuned to winning or knows how to win than Bill does. And I think that they've got a great combination in Bill Parcells and Jerry Jones, and I think that each has shown a real respect for the other, and I think it's going to be a very, very good situation there. I've been to practice 2 or 3 times, and the players have responded tremendously to Bill. They understand what he has brought with him and what he brings to the Cowboys. And I think that the whole key to his approach is that the guy is incredibly unsatisfied with where they are, not with the fact that they've won 6 games, but that they haven't played as well as they're capable of playing in winning some of those games. And that's what makes him one of the great coaches of any sport ever.
And it's what makes one of the many things that makes you guys so similar, it seems, that you've told us that you're waiting to coach that perfect game as well.
Well, I got a lot better vocabulary than he has, and I'm a lot easier to deal with, and I've had, during my career, much better relationship with the media than he's had, and it's probably been much more enjoyable for guys like you to talk to than he is.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I remember one other thing, though, that you told us the day that he was hired, or the week that he was hired, you had
Wait a minute. Now,
what?
When you say that you remember one other thing,
all right, I remember one thing.
Anything, yeah.
Right, yeah.
I mean, you should say there is one thing I do remember.
Okay, well,
there you go.
Let me correct myself. There is actually one thing I remember from that day. And you sparked my memory by mentioning Jerry and how they've gotten along real well. You said, I think that week you had advice for Jerry, that he's just got to stay out of Parcells' way.
3 words, leave him alone.
And he has, apparently.
Well, he's been great, and I think that he, and I don't think, what I think will be really good for Bill is that I don't think anyone will appreciate the contribution that Bill has made and what Bill has brought to the Cowboys anywhere in sport than Jerry Jones would. You know, there have been 2 people in my mind that have run franchises and have run them with one thought in mind, and that was to win and to put the best team out there that they could conceivably put out there, and to demand that the people involved with the team were as attuned to winning as they were. And those 2 guys are Red Auerbach and George Steinbrenner. And they're 2 guys that I admire tremendously because of their dedication to having teams that are the best that they can conceivably be. And I think that with what Jerry Jones is doing with Bill, bringing him in and turning the team over to him in the way that he has, puts him in the same category with Red and George in regard to the kind of owner that wants to give his fans and will do whatever it takes to give his fans the very best team possible.
It's Bob Knight and the Bob Knight Show, and we need to tell you about Texas Tech's trip into Dallas coming up pretty quick here. But I want to talk about your team, but maybe we'll have to wait for week 2 to get into your team a little more, Coach, because I want to ask you something else about Parcells and really the profession of coaching. And that is this. There are guys and one of them might even be me, that have said from time to time that it's not the jockey, it's the horse, meaning generally the players decide who wins, but then when you see the jockeys change to a guy like Bill Parcells, and it's a lot of the very same players, I guess it does kind of go back to, maybe I have no idea what I'm talking about, because
that is a real possibility.
Well, and I don't deny that.
If you were to check history a little bit, you would find that Johnny Longden, Willie Shoemaker, and Eddie Arcaro rode several thousand horses more that won races than horses without jockeys.
True. However, you would also find that no donkeys ever won the Kentucky Derby, right?
Well, let's take Seabiscuit. Seabiscuit was a little ruddy horse that happened to have the good fortune of getting with a superior trainer and a superior jockey, and Seabiscuit did in that era what no other horse was capable of doing. I don't think Wayne Lucas is a really close friend of mine, and another guy that I have a great admiration for. And I think that Wayne used to coach basketball, and he goes about training thoroughbreds a lot like they were a basketball team. And I think that certain trainers have had far more success than other trainers have had, just like jockeys have had. And I think that in any sport, no single person that is a participant is as valuable as the guy who runs the operation, i.e. the coach, the trainer, whoever it might be, because take pro football as an example. No one can go through, well, let me back that up. It's virtually impossible. I use the word virtually. It's virtually impossible for anybody to go through the NFL undefeated. Mm-hmm. So that means that even the poorest teams in the league are going to win games on occasion. That translates into those poorest teams having players on given days that were able to play better than supposedly better players. But if you examine that a little bit further, you're going to find that all teams have players that are about the same size, have the same physical characteristics. There might be a running back that has a little quicker change of direction or a little more power in his legs, or a quarterback that has a little quicker release or throws a long ball a little better, or a short pass a little softer, or whatever. But basically, it comes down to the kind of leadership that those horses are going to get as to who's going to win. And it's always been that way, and it always will be that way.
The Coach Bob Knight Show here on Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. It's back every Thursday at this time. We're going to be doing this. So what else this summer? You know what I want to know? In your book, you would tell a bunch of stories about the famous people that you hang with and fishing with Ted Williams and whatnot. I mean, did you hang out with anybody this summer or see anybody that might impress guys like us and might go in your next book?
Well, if you read that book carefully, there were a lot of guys that you'd never heard of.
Sure.
That I hung out with, too. What I talked about was the most interesting people that I hung out with. And this summer I had an opportunity to spend the time with the ranch manager up in Colorado that's a really good friend of mine, Jay Linderman. I always enjoy spending time with him. The thing that probably was the most unique thing that may have ever happened to me was being inducted into an organization made up of NFL players, Packer players, that had played for Coach Lombardi. And that took place in Green Bay in August. And I was the first person who had not played directly for Lombardi with the Packers that was inducted into this organization. So it was, I think, the nicest honor that I've ever received, and one that I thoroughly appreciated.
Wow. So was basically Packers from the 60s alumni, or just...
No, yeah, these were guys that had played for Lombardi, and I think he was there from about 58 to 66 or 67, something like that. And we had a seminar, and I think there were either 7 or 8 Packer players there. Doug Hart, who was a defensive back, and Dave Robinson, a linebacker, Willie Davis, a defensive end and captain, and Bob Skoronski, offensive tackle and captain, and Bart Starr, Jerry Kramer, and Max McGee were all there, and we all took part in this seminar, and it was one that I really enjoyed. I made a comment, and I never used this before. Coach Lombardi's son, Vince Jr., was there as kind of the moderator and the organizer of the seminar, and he was the one that introduced me. And in his introduction, he talked about the similarities he thought in coaching that I shared with his father, which was, again, as nice a thing as has ever been said about me. But I said that maybe the greatest phrase I'd ever heard in sport, and these 8 Packer players are kind of sitting to my left down in the audience in the front row there and a couple of rows. And when I said that, they kind of all sort of leaned forward like it was halftime of a game or something. And I said, I think maybe the greatest phrase I've ever heard in sport is, what the hell is going on out there? What the hell is going on out there? And this goes back to Bill Parcells and me watching the Packers play in the late 60s in my basement at West Point. And almost without exception, when the Packers are on television, or were on television, as they were almost every Sunday then, the camera would flash to Lombardi as either the offense or the defense was coming off the field while the ball was changing. And that would be what he would say every time. What the hell is going on out there? Well, then I kind of gave my interpretation of what he meant when saying that. And first of all, at a football game, the absolute worst viewpoint in the stadium is from where the coach stands. So I said maybe he didn't see what was going on out there and wanted to know. That might be a possibility. Also, the way he said it, everybody might understand or interpret from what he said that Coach isn't real happy about what's going on out there. Mm-hmm. And thirdly, every single guy said, without him mentioning a single name, man, I wonder what he's upset at me for now. So it just put everybody on a little bit sharper edge. And as I look back over what I've studied in sport, that was one of the truly great things used by one of the great motivators that ever coached in I think, getting the attention of his player, and as I said, just sharpening the knife a little bit. And so the Packers and their organization that they formed and have a board and everything, it does a lot of, everything is for charity in the Green Bay area and across the state of Wisconsin to show the fans there their appreciation for how much support those fans gave them when they were there as players. But Bob Skoronski called me about 3 weeks later when they had a Packer reunion at one of their home games to tell me that the Titletown Legends, as they have named themselves, adopted that phrase as their motto. So I got a real kick out of that.
All right, Coach, it's been fantastic. We want to plug the big game when you're coming to the American Airlines Center for sure, because I think tickets go on sale this weekend.
Well, we're really appreciative of the chance to play in the American Airlines Center and to have been able to work that out. And we want to have an opponent there every year that people will enjoy coming to see play. And we started off with the game with the University of Iowa, who I think will be a very, very good team this year under one of my former players, an All-American, Steve Alford. And Steve has been a great kid, and I don't look forward to the game from that standpoint because I don't want to lose, and I don't want to see him lose. But I think it'll be a game that basketball fans will really enjoy, and certainly one that we anticipate and certainly hope brings a huge Tech turnout.
Awesome. Well, tickets go on sale Saturday, and there's a link on our website for people that want to get involved in that, and we will definitely be in the house that day. And you got another trip to Dallas a couple weeks earlier when you go to SMU, so we'll see you a couple times in person this year.
Well, we'll make sure that we have tickets for you, too. So, Bob and Dan, it's great to be back with you guys, and I look forward to all the Thursday afternoon sessions that we have.
This is going to be great. It's going to be excellent. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Remember, 9 games. 9 games
All right.
was the minimum.
You're looking good right now at 6-2.
Okay, man.
See you, Coach.
Okay.
All right, it's Coach Bob Knight. That was unbelievable. That was an unbelievable edition.
He's better.
Resource Concepts, right? All right, and like I said, if you want to go see Steve Alford v. Bob Knight, check out our website, or I'm sure Texas Tech is selling them. Heck, I'm sure the American Airlines Center is selling them, but that will be a day where we will definitely be in the house as well.
Happy that we're getting along with this, Michael, because this first one concerns you.
Oh, good, good.
Michael? Now, we here at the Ticket, the sports guys at the Ticket, they really consider themselves serious sports guys. I mean, you guys know your stuff, and you love to break down games and analyze stuff. And
Not me.
Well, obviously. And yesterday...
You let's mix up a Sturm.
Yesterday, Grego was trying to make a sports point, and you guys are talking about the Tennessee-Jacksonville game. This is during NFL Boulevard segment.
Mm-hmm.
And Grego's just trying to bring up a point of the other team against whoever they were playing. Tennessee had a chance to tie the game, and they were close to tying, they were close to tying the game, and he's bringing up this really good sports point.
It was a perfect opportunity for you to elaborate and really just take off with it.
Yeah, he was throwing it to you to break it down further, and here's how you broke it down.
Now, Tennessee has been scoring points left and right. Not yesterday, though.
Hey, they had the ball first and goal to force overtime.
Yes, they did. All right, can I defend myself here? Can I defend myself? I thought he was going somewhere else with that.
Oh, no, he was throwing it to you, and...
Hot sports opinion.
They need to make that a promo.
They do.
Hey, play it again and play that tagline.
Now, Tennessee has been scoring points left and
Here's
right.
the promo right here.
Not yesterday, though.
Hey, they had the ball first and goal to force overtime.
Yes, they did.
Hot sports opinion.
Actually, I didn't have another thing on that game. I was just sitting there for a couple. I know it is. I was just sitting there for a couple seconds, hoping like hell that he did.
And that pause is so...
I know. Like I say, I didn't have anything else on it.
Well, what else was he going to say? It sounded like the hot spot.
I know it did. I mean, it was a freaking 10-3 game. What else is there?
Count how long it went there. Listen how long it
Tennessee has been scoring points left and right. Not yesterday, though.
Hey, they had the ball first and goal to force overtime.
Yes, they did.
A good 3.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Hot sports opinion.
Seriously, that's got to be a promo.
It has to be.
Our guys break down the game.
They know what they're talking about.
Insightful analysis. Attention to detail. That's the ticket.
Always elaborate.
I always picture that guy who's like maybe from Atlanta or New York who's driving through town.
So do
I
I.
want to punch up some sports talk.
I've heard about this ticket. They're
My
known.
buddies up there who used to live in Dallas, they say it's so great and so funny, and these guys are so into the games and they're so knowledgeable. Let's just see what they have going on.
Now, Tennessee has been scoring points left and right.
He's like, oh, they're going to...
Not yesterday, though.
Oh, yeah, I love Tennessee.
Here we go. Yeah, they had the ball first and goal. Oh, this is going to be good. To force overtime.
Remember this.
Yes, they did, Grego, and they couldn't score. Yes, they did.
Sounds like one of those bits where we hear your thoughts during that break.
Right.
Like you're just thinking about ceramics or something during that.
How do you know I wasn't?
Well, let's hear it.
No. All right. Now we move on to the Cowboy game. It's something interesting that happened during the game. You guys remember the play?
So you got your video.
We got the video, yes. Thank you to the good P1 who brought it up.
Well, did we get the Buffalo game?
No, we didn't get that.
But we got blizzards, though.
Yeah.
And barbecue. Oh, we need the Buffalo game, too. We got to have them going. Thanks, Grego. So, you don't want that?
No, I do. So, the play in question here, Quincy drops back and tries to throw a screen pass to Hambrick.
and he accidentally threw it into the back of Ryan Young, the offensive lineman. So a penalty's called, and they're discussing what the penalty is. And then Joe Theismann tries to crack a joke. I don't even think he was trying to crack a joke. It was just a passing statement. And Paul McGuire, instead of laughing, creates this really awkward noise. I don't know what this is.
You think Paul McGuire's ever had any late nights drunk?
Or like a late night snack? I mean, good Lord. All right, so let's try to define what this thing is.
If it hits an offensive lineman, he's an eligible receiver, and it's a penalty.
And they're standing right beside Ryan Young, number 75. He looked like the guy who got it in the back of the head.
And he hasn't been playing a little bit, and I know he hasn't been working on his hand. Well, he's been out.
What was that? Oh.
Sounded like a snort.
It did.
Real snicker.
It sounded like the predicator to Mr. Tomato Head. That sounds like.
It does.
Reiner gets out.
What's so damn grouchy and turns bright red? Mr. Tomato Head.
Play it one more time.
If it hits an offensive lineman, he's an eligible receiver, and it's a penalty.
And they're standing right beside Ryan Young, number 75. He looked like the guy who got it in the back of the head.
And he hasn't been playing a little bit, and I know he hasn't been working on his hand. Well, he's been out.
Maybe they threw it down to Susie Colbert on the sideline.
Yeah.
She cut one.
And she talked like this. Yeah.
Said she can't.
Why not?
And cut what? Girls don't do that.
You know, that's right. Girls don't do that.
See there?
They don't.
That's right. You don't do that, do you?
I don't.
You just like to laugh at them.
That's right.
Does it make you laugh when your boyfriend farts?
He doesn't either. He's grossed out by stuff like that, too.
He is.
Completely.
That's what he tells you.
No, he really is. Like, it makes him want to throw up, and he hasn't heard anything about anything like that.
He, like, doing it in front of you, or just doing it at all?
Doing it at all.
Oh, come on.
I swear, I've never known when
Okay,
that
that's
happens.
lie number one
I'm
he told you.
no, I'm sure he does it, but I'm saying I've never known when he's done it.
All right, but when he gets out with his